Hey guys, welcome back. Elise Smith here with Socially Awesome, and I am so excited today to be bringing you Cindy Strong with Strong Social Media Solutions. I've got to tell you, Cindy and I are in the same program, coaching program, and I talk a lot about my coaching program, and she has been just a ball of fire that I love. Cindy is so knowledgeable in all things tech. And Cindy, you have been a personal sounding board for me. You have been a friend. I was so excited to meet you in person in Nashville. And you just are always happy and smiling and just keep me motivated. So I am so excited. I want to thank you for being here with us today.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I mean, I love you and I love watching you. You have been a ball of fire. Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know where you get all the energy, but you know, you're young still.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where you're going. But
Well, I go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, when you're in the tech world and stuff, it's nice to have a sounding board, right? It is. It's nice to have somebody that you can go, hey, check this out for me. Because, sometimes things don't work.
Oh, very often they don't work. And very often in the tech world, wires get crossed. And you are my go-to tester because my husband, who's back behind the beach back there, so I won't talk ill of him. But he's like, I'm tired of testing your stuff. Don't you have a friend? No. So I'm like, I do. Let me get Cindy on the line. Hold on. So I'm so excited to have you here today. And I want you to tell me, I want to start off a little bit about you telling me like what exactly you do at Strong Social Media Solutions. Who do you serve? What are you working on currently so that my audience knows how you can help them?
Okay. Well, I started this because just basically like 3 years ago, I could barely do something like this. I was a hairdresser, career hairdresser, 37 years behind the chair. Never thought I'd ever be stepping away from the chair, and it happened. And so I had to like figure out something, and then COVID hit. So what are we doing? We're sitting in front of the computer, right?
Oh.
And I'm not one to just sit around watch TV. I can't do it. I can't. It's like I can't. So I thought I've got to figure out something to reinvent myself. So I just started diving into the tech world and decided, hey, this is kind of cool. I can do this stuff. It took me, maybe a little bit longer because I wasn't born in the tech era, but it served me pretty well. But my ideal client is that person that struggles with tech. So my courses and a lot of the things that I teach in my group is all about step by step by step. A lot of times people will teach something, but then you're like watching it and you're going, well, where do I put my cursor? Where do I start? Where's that little push to open up a, website or whatever you're, working on, and people just don't know how to do it. And with everything being online right now, everything is about social media. If you're running a business, you've got to figure out how to be online. And, when you're just starting out, you can't afford really to pay something to somebody. And sometimes you don't even know what to hire somebody for. Right?
Right.
So, yeah, you kind of got to get through those little steps. So that is the person that I help, is the one that's, just the little baby steps. So,
well, it's funny you say that because and people don't, I guess, without offending anyone, it's kind of that thing of, someone said that the baby boomer era, a lot of those use ladies, for instance, retire and then they're like, I'm bored. I want to go back to work. And I've had a lot of them come to me and you, and I'm sure you can attest this. And they're like, well, I decided to start this business because I'm retired from nursing or teaching, and now I'm bored and I want some money because we all know, inflation, retirement might not be enough for them.
right.
And you tell them, okay, open this app. Well, they're like, how do I even get the app? They don't even download the app. So, and that's no fault to theirs. They've been in a
Right.
career for 30, 40, 50 years. They've been in the same career, and they're interested in starting this new venture. And to me, that was so motivating and inspiring to see, wow, you finished this really long career, and then you're like, you know what? I'm such a badass. I'm gonna do something else. So I've had several ladies that have come to me, and that like you said, really need that beginner step. So I love that you have recognized that not only is there a market for that, but that you have the patience to help people by starting from the beginning, because I think that's the problem with a lot of these, and I'm going to say younger, because even younger than me, a
Right.
lot of these young coaches that are in their 20s, they might not have the patience to break it down for someone. And I think that comes with age and experience and maturity. So I love that you learned it and now you're teaching it. That's
Right.
really cool.
I was an educator when I was a hairdresser too. So
Right.
patience is a virtue, and I'm a boomer. So I
Yeah,
know what it's like.
you're the example. You were in the chair for how long?
37 years behind the chair. So,
Yeah.
and teaching people even hair, I would have to constantly go back to the basics. And sometimes people ask the same question over and over again. So you do have to have a lot of patience, to do those beginners, because let's face it, boomers were not raised in the technology world. I mean, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, we didn't have computers. We certainly didn't have a phone held computer. I mean, now everything, they say 85 to 90% of people are on their mobile.
Yeah.
And that's their computer.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. And like, honestly, even I'm considered a millennial, but even me, I mean, I didn't have a cell phone until, I remember my mom having the bag phone. I was so excited when the bag phone came out. So like, even the millennial age, depending upon one, if your family could afford to have those products, because back then that was a super luxury. Nowadays you could get a phone for, $9 a month or something, and it is what it is. But like, that was a luxury. So I love that you, like I said, you recognize that, and you've kind of used your background to make a business out of it, because not only are you coaching women inside your group and one-on-one and individually, but you also have done for you services, right? Where you tell them, hey, if what I've taught you is just too much and your brain is too full and you don't want to learn anything else, or you just don't want the headache, I'll do it for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what done for you services you've had, because I'm excited. Like I said, I've got a large audience that most of them are in network marketing. They're looking for something else, because network marketing is fabulous, but it's great to have multiple streams of income, because as network marketing, you're a contractor for a company, and sometimes you have to create your own company to have a little bit more security. So I'm really talked about that a lot on my podcast here, and just starting something else in addition to. So let me know a little bit about how you serve them for done for you services. It might jog some people's memory on or get their creativity flowing, saying, you know what, I could use help with that.
Yes. So one of the things that I'm working on is like a done for you package, but actually I'm working with the client for a launch. So I package that up. I do the graphics, I do the copy, I do the stories and everything leading up to that launch, however long that is, do the workbook for them so that they can just basically come on and do their thing, whatever they're selling. Right now, a lot of sales are going on because it's getting toward the end of the year and all that kind of stuff. So, people want to have it done. It's busy. It's like they can't even think about it. So that done for you package is great. And for me, it's awesome because I can, just go in, get their package together, basically put it on a Trello board. I love Trello. Trello is life.
Yeah.
Trello is life. And I have Trello trainings in my group too that,
love.
that you can just walk through step by step, because sometimes when you open something like that up and you're a boomer, the first time I opened it up, I'm like, what in the world is this? It's crazy.
Yes, it is.
Nothing like, I don't want to do this.
And I've got
But
so many workspaces that I'm like, is this in the right workspace? Is this part of it? But I love that it's searchable. I love that I can easily add someone. So yes, I encourage anyone that's listening to jump in Cindy's group for the Trello training. It's actually on my wish list, I guess you'll say, for me to get my Trello organized because I got more workspaces than I know what to do with. But I love the idea of it, and I love that you're doing trainings in your group and offering free value to people, because a lot of times people, like you said, they don't know what they need, and spending time with you, it will get that juice flowing for them to say, I need help with this. That's awesome. One thing I like to ask during my interviews is, what is a challenge that you've overcome? Because there's someone out there to get into entrepreneurship. Because even as a hairdresser, you were an entrepreneur.
yes.
So you've always kind of been in entrepreneurship. So you've known what it is to manage your schedule, manage your time, sacrifice your time, all the things. But what is one of the biggest challenges that you've overcome? Because I hear a lot in my group of, I don't have time for that. I can't afford that. I can't. Those tend to be the two biggest objections. But just tell me a little bit about a challenge you've overcome that someone might out there might resonate with.
Well, I have always been an entrepreneur. I learned early on that I didn't like to be an employee. I really didn't like to be told what to do. And the other thing is that I wanted to have a job where there was no ceiling. Because when you work for an hourly wage, there's a ceiling. You can't work beyond that. It doesn't matter how much more you give to that job, you're still going to be paid X amount of dollars per hour or whatever it is. And I thought, no, I don't want a ceiling. I want to be able to, match my energy and be able to go beyond that ceiling. So being a hairdresser was great for me because I could make my own schedule. Now I was pretty strict on myself. I worked a full-time job, usually 6 hours a week. I mean, 6 days a week when I first started, because I was building a business, and I couldn't figure out why the new hairdressers didn't want to work. Like if they didn't have a client, they're going to the store or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to be like, hey, I know you wanted to come in next week, but I have an opening today. So would you like to come in? I was always filling my schedule. So when I actually retired from hairdressing, which I was forced to retire, I had a huge clientele. It was huge. And it was all the people that I wanted to work with. It was great. I made over 6 figures a year. I did really, really well. And I loved what I did. And I think it was more so the relationships than the actual hair, because I could do hair in my sleep at that point,
Right.
So I think overcoming when I went into this business, the biggest challenge is staying consistent and giving yourself that that work ethic. Because when I was a hairdresser, I had a brick and mortar. You go and you open it 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever, and and then you close at 7 or whatever it is, right? So you have these hours that you are open. When you work for yourself in this field, I mean, you could be like, somebody could call and say, hey, let's go to breakfast or something. You just go. And then you come back and you're like, man, I don't feel like working for the rest of the day. Well, you can't really do that. You really
Right.
have to set your hours and be consistent about it. Because if you don't, what happens is that day turns into the next day, turns into the next day. And then pretty soon, you haven't worked at all that week. And then you're like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I just can't do this. And that's what happens to people in network marketing or in any kind of business like this, where they have to be accountable for themselves. You just have to make that schedule. And if you don't, that will happen. And then you fall into that overwhelm, that big word, overwhelm. And pretty soon you're going, why did I even think about doing this? I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5 or hourly wage. So I think that just being consistent and figuring out what, staying organized too. And that's the other thing about, I mean, even like with the Trello, being able to look at your board and to say, okay, this needs to go out today, this needs to go out today, this needs to go out tomorrow, this needs, and you have that consistency. So I think that I mean, that's a big one. You just have to set a schedule and stick to it. Being a hairdresser, I had to set a schedule and stick to it. You can't just be like, come see, come saw, I mean, one week you're working on a Monday and then the client wants to rebook and you're like, oh, I don't work on Mondays. And they're like, but you did
Right.
here on a Monday the last time. Oh yeah, but that was just a one-off. Yeah. No, you have to be consistent. You have to tell these people, this is where I'm going to show up. This is when I'm going to show up and be there. And I know you know that because you are always on it.
Well, for me, my clients are my customer. That's the best way to say it. My clients are my customers. So if I don't open the door to my business every day and answer emails for my clients or do their social, like I say, or I don't answer my consulting clients' Boxer messages, then they're going to think I'm closed. And no, I'm not going to get any new clients. So that's my way of looking at it. I know I stumbled for a second, but I wanted to just make it really impactful that you have to think of it that way. It's my business, but I do still have people to answer to. They have paid me for a service. I have to provide that service. And I instill that same thought into my team members that are working for me. You don't get to just say, I'm not showing up today. It doesn't work that way. We have customers. Even though it's in my pajamas in my house, and if I don't want to start work until 10 and I want to work till 10 p.m., I can do that for the most part, but I still have to open the door to my business every single day.
Every day.
I love the flexibility of, like you said, going to lunch with my grandma or going here or doing this. But when you don't treat it like a business, you're not going to reap the benefits of a business. And not until you have fully trained someone else to take over it and you're just sitting back. And that's on the wish list. But like you, I don't think I could just sit around and watch TV. So I open the doors to my business at least 6 days a week, just like you said. I do a lot on Sundays. Because I have a lot of clients that work a 9 to 5, and I want to be flexible for those people because I understand what they're feeling trying to get a business building while they're still working. And so I do open my business on Sundays quite a bit by appointment only. So please don't, please don't come knocking on Sunday unless you got an appointment. But like you said, we work for a certain customer, and my customer is that busy mompreneur that is ready to leave her job, but she can't yet, or has just left her job and needs to get on social. So I love hearing so much of the same from you.
Well, and I think the other really big key thing is that, like you were just saying, you've got to put the work in the beginning. You've got to buckle down in the beginning. Yes, it's going to feel a little overwhelming. Yes, you're going to have to set a schedule for yourself. You're going to have to do that, because if you don't, you're going to end up giving up. Now, the thing is that if you do these things, it's going to be a shorter amount of time before you're successful, before you get to the point where, and let's face it, you're going to get to the point where your team members are doing a lot of that work, but you're still going to be watching everything. It's not like you're just going to be sitting back eating bonbons, you're going to be watching everything. And so you're still going to be involved because that's your baby. That's your business, but doesn't it feel better because you're going to be able to go on vacation and set these people up?
I don't know. I made myself sick on vacation last month. I thought it was just burning. Everything was burning. But it was the first time leaving, and nothing burned down. Nothing burned down. So
I think your team did a great job keeping up with everything because, except for the pictures, we didn't know you were on vacation. So
exactly. So I want to ask you one more thing. How can my people find you, get in touch with you, learn from you, all the things? How can they get all your goods?
So my group on Facebook is called Tech Talk for Beginners. And it's for the beginner or anybody that, I mean, just drop in if you want to learn something. I've got tons of stuff in the feed. Elise is even in there. She's got a couple of trainings in my group. And I love that other people can come in and do that too, because, you know, I mean, not everybody knows all the things. I'll tell you one thing that I really, really appreciated when I was doing hair. The way I learned back in the archaic olden days was you'd have to go to hair shows to learn anything new or to look in magazines. Now everything's online.
Right.
I loved to learn from millennials. I loved it because they were on point, in the know. You know, Instagram started being big, and I'll tell you what, it like blew up my business. I had to stop posting. Because
Really?
every time I posted hair on Instagram, I'd get 10 phone calls the next day. People
Wow.
wanting to get in now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't handle this.
They don't understand you're booked out, right? They don't
Right.
get that. Yeah, yeah.
So
Having a waiting list and having booked out is another reminder that you are the best. So that's pretty awesome.
yeah. So I know but that is, you know, that's my old life now. And I love being at home. I love being able to, you know, do this from my home and
Right.
have my little office back here. I love it. It's awesome.
I love it. And I have to ask, do you do your own pink hair?
I do. Actually, my husband applies my color. I taught him how to do it.
Love that.
And
Just
he's so funny
over
because
your neck and stuff.
yeah,
Just to make sure it's somewhat even. Yeah.
he's
I
so
love
funny
it.
because the first time he did it, he left a bunch of holes in the back. And I'm like, no, we have to redo it. Are you kidding? I am not going out like that. I can't, you know, show up like this. So he's never done that again. But he's funny because he doesn't like, I wear medium gloves and they don't fit his hands. So he uses his gardening gloves.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. I told my husband months ago, actually, we're on vacation in Florida because I was getting the eyelash extensions before I got these. But I was like, if you could learn how to apply eyelashes and hair, which I don't have extensions in my hair, but I was like, do you know how much money we would save? Like, I would pimp you out all day, like for real. And it was a joke. Ongoing joke for a long time until we found these. But that's so funny because I was just like, I just need help. I can't do it myself.
Well, and one time the gloves didn't work. He threw them off and he's putting the pink on my hair, you know, because it's a 2-step process.
Yeah.
Well, shortly after that, he had to go to the doctor's office. Well, that pink step doesn't come off your hands, right?
Oh my goodness.
So he went to the doctor's appointment with pink hands, and they're asking him, why are your hands pink?
Right.
I was doing my wife's hair.
And anybody that's on the podcast, you have to go find, this will be on StreamYard, on my profile, my business page, and will also be on YouTube. You have to go find the video version of this because Miss Cindy has got the brightest pink hair. I could spot her a mile away at the conference we were at in Nashville, and I absolutely love it. I adore you. So I want to say thank you so much for being here with me today. And make sure if you're listening or you're watching, however you're getting this content, check the show notes or the comments. We will have all of Cindy's links so you can connect with her. She does monthly trainings in her group, which is amazing because they're free value for you, free training for you to go learn. If you are someone out there that is interested in starting that business and you need that tech help, please find Cindy because she is just so easy to work with, always a smile on her face. And I'm just so grateful that you are here today.
Thank you.
Of course. And until next time, guys, thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening. Again, don't forget to take a screenshot of this, throw it on your stories, and tag me and Cindy. You'll get Cindy's info in the show notes. Tag us. I do a monthly drawing with my podcast, so don't forget to take advantage of that and find us for Quick Tip Tuesday next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.